Hello everyone, ¿cómo está? Ohoro wanyu, habari zenu, konnichiwa, guten tag, all the other greetings. It's Kenyan Hippie back with another video. Before we start, make sure you go ahead and like this video because you know you're gonna like this video, and subscribe before we continue. Now, and for those returning subscribers, thank you all so much for all the support. I appreciate you guys so much. I saw this video on Instagram, and it's a Kenyan woman living in America. I don't know if she's a dual citizen yet. I'm not sure of the details, but it's a video of her essentially by the caption discussing what she does not miss about living in Kenya. And I figured it's the best video to blind react to. As those of you who might or might not know, I have lived here since 2013. I have been back home a few times, and there are always good things and bad things in every place you live. Don't let anyone fool you and make you think it's paradise no matter where, but also don't let them fool you and make you think everywhere is problematic, because then they are the problem, right?
Things I don't miss about Kenya as a Kenyan living in America. Number one, matatu. No, I don't miss the struggle of like lazima niamke mapema, mara nimekosa matatu, so nimechelewa place naenda. No, I love that. Now you can naweza tuingia kwa gari ni drive kazi. That's it. That struggle, no, I don't miss it. Matatu, no, I don't miss the struggles.
So the matatu aspect, completely 100% true. Now, for those wondering who are not Kenyan or have not been to Kenya, a matatu is a public service vehicle. It's okay, so it's called public means, but it's not government owned. So there's a difference if you hear me saying public and private. Public is not government owned, it's just public means of transport. Okay, it's privately owned, and they form these things called cooperatives and circles. And it's basically a group of people who own vehicles used for public transportation. It picks you up from one point, you pay a certain amount of bus fare, drops you off. There are different stages, we call it stages, but bus stops along the way. And most of the time, you're going to have to walk from the bus stop to your home because you're not dropped right at your gate. It's why most of us stay fit. It's very hard to find a Kenyan who's obese. Also, our diet is awesome, but point is we have a lot of physical activities. You have to wake up, walk to the bus stop, get to work, walk from the bus stop to the office, then walk from the office to the bus stop, and then from the bus stop when you get dropped off to your house or apartment or whatever you live in. And okay, now living in Kenya, they can get very irritating. I used to hate the crap out of matatus, and it's because first of all, it's very loud. They're very loud. So if you don't have earplugs, you might go deaf. Most of us, our hearing is a bit sketchy because we've been using matatus since after I freaking graduated high school, because until then, actually no, primary school, I used to be dropped off by my parents, so I didn't have to have the matatu experience until I turned about 14-ish. For secondary school, high school, we would take smaller vans. I'm gonna just put pictures here for you guys because it's so hard to explain what it looks like. We just look at it and you'll see. But they're known for being super loud, they're full of graffiti, which that doesn't really bother me because I love art and I'm an artist myself, so I can appreciate that. But how loud they are and how they monopolize the amount of bus fare they can charge you, because again, they're not owned by any government entity. They don't have to charge a flat fee, and they're very much opportunistic. So if it starts to rain, pray to your Lord Jesus Christ, because that bus fare will triple in price. And you have a conductor who, they used to drive me crazy. And that's because I get overstimulated. I've had a long day at work. I just want to get home. I'm at the bus stop, waiting for this matatu. They're trying to fill people in, because the faster they fill in, the faster they leave, the faster they come back, the faster they make more money, the more trips they make. It's a whole thing, okay? And they're banging on the outside of the matatu. Hey, come in. They even have posers. You guys, it's a whole operation. They have posers who are just people who sit inside to make it look like it's full. And then once they start attracting people, the people leave. They're paid to sit down and make it look like it's full. One thing Kenyans know how to do is to hustle. Not hustling people, but how to hustle and bustle to get what they need. So anyways, I did not appreciate them banging on the side of the matatu when I'm inside because it's so loud. And then the music. And music is amazing because most of the time it's local music, local African Kenyan music. But the amount of it's so loud, y'all. I'm gonna try to play a little clip here, but it's not for the faint of heart.
Of course, now that I live in the United States, I miss this nonsense.
Yeah. Now think of that for as long as your destination. Until you get to your destination, it could be 20 minutes, it could be an hour, it depends. Especially if it rains and there's a traffic jam, then oh well. And then outside of that, they vary, they're not reliable. It's not like the American bus system where 8 o'clock will be there no matter what. Unless there's a rapture and God takes us home, then we might not show up on time. They're not that timely. They just show up when they show up. So it's always a gamble you're taking with them. Really count on them. I remember a few times. You can't really count on them. They're not consistent. I remember they could decide halfway through the freaking route, halfway through the journey, to change the destination because there's traffic on that road we're going to go to, so now we're going the other way. You guys figure it out. Good luck to y'all. That's what they do. At the drop of a hat, plans change, and it makes you so anxious. I used to get so freaking anxious. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? You're dropping me off in the middle of nowhere. I don't have enough money for a taxi. And this back then, there were no Ubers. Before I moved from Kenya, there were no Ubers, so you couldn't just save money and take an Uber or a lift home. It was, you basically effed. You are effed. So, ule wako. If they decide they're not going the way you were going initially and they change routes and you're not getting a refund on your bus fare, so good luck to you. Yeah, I don't miss that. I don't miss that. And then the claustrophobia. I always sat by a window. What was that guy's name? There were some rules that were enforced. I don't know if they're enforced anymore now, to be honest. You had to wear a seatbelt. They had to do a certain speed limit because some of them go too fast. Again, they're going fast so they can get where they're going faster, so they can make us more trips that day and make more money. Along the way, they bribe the traffic cops. They just give them a little 50 shillings along the way, both sides. Those cops make good money on bribes. Yeah. Anyway, so that's part of probably why she's saying she doesn't miss Matatus. The convenience of getting in your own vehicle in America. And again, in the States, for those Kenyans wondering, getting a car is not exactly a luxury. It's a need. Unless you live in a big metropolitan city with a bus system that's reliable, you need a car. You need a car. You really do. It's more a convenience and a need than it is a luxury. So just giving you guys a warning. All right, so let's continue.
Number 2, corruption. Oh my God, I'm telling you, Kenya utashikwa uwe polisi ako like ati hapana ni unipe 5,000 before ama nikupeleke ndani. No, I don't miss the corruption. Kitu kidogo hivi polisi ama anybody ni kitu kidogo nipe kitu kidogo. No, I don't miss the corruption part of Kenya at all. Ukishikwa, there's laws and rules za kufuata. Like hakuna yo corruption. I don't miss it.
Yes, I just touched on this, which is so funny because I didn't know she was going to say this, but I just mentioned the Kenya police are some of the most corrupt. Hey, if they were to do some kind of a poll, the Kenya police would be up there, the most corrupt policemen across the world, leave alone the freaking continent, the world. They are such entitled pieces of...
Whatever you do, ni lazima tunakucheki. Whatever you do, ni lazima tunakucheki.
But the corruption, y'all. Kenyan cops, by the way, the worst part about the Kenyan police corruption is they're very shameless about it. They don't even try to hide it. They might try to be sleek, again, like I mentioned, when they're dealing with Matatu drivers, because we are watching, but we know they're doing it. There's even a corruption commission that was set up. I'm going to see before I post this whether it's still alive, honestly. The Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission. I don't think it did anything, but all that when a policeman is caught bribing or receiving a bribe, all they do is they transfer him to a different location. How is that solving the corruption issue? It's not, right? So the way the police work in Kenya is once you have a traffic stop, they expect you to grease their palms. It's called kitu kidogo. Kitu kidogo is a small something, like give me a little something something, so I let this go and I don't take you to court or whatever that may look like. It might be as small as a light in your car that's out. Whatever the case might be, they will find a way. And even if there is no infraction you've committed, they will still stop you and they will expect something from you. And that's why I prefer the American police. Just like she said, people give the American cops such a bad rap. Oh, they're brutal. You have no idea what police brutality means until you have lived in Kenya. Let me tell y'all, the police there don't give a, there's no, you shoot first and ask questions later. And especially now with the protests going on at the moment, it's crazy. They will tear gas you, they will cannon you, water cannon you, they will shoot at unarmed civilians. It's insane to me, and they're allowed to do this. They're allowed to do this, so you can't do shit about it. So you just learn how to deal with police. You just learn. You learn how to deal with the law enforcement without thinking you're a big head. In America, when I see people being pulled over and they're giving the cop an attitude, I'm like, whoa, wait. Yeah, your entitlement is showing. Your privilege is showing. Because a Kenyan cop, try that with them. See if you live to tell the tale the next day. What do you mean? But yeah, it's a crazy phenomenon. It is very widely known. It's not widely accepted, but what are you gonna do? And they tend to pick on foreigners, especially if you're a Mzungu. Not because they hate you, but because they think you have a lot of money. My husband and I were in Kenya on our wedding in 2021, and we got stopped twice riding in my mom's vehicle. You almost want to tell them to hide, like, hey babe, hide, like duck, so the cops don't see this white guy in the car, because they're gonna stop us, because they just assume, hey, what is he doing here? What is it your business? He came here legally, he paid his visa fees, obviously, because he came to the port of entry. So why do you care why he's here? It's none of your business. But they're gonna try to get something out of you. That's what they do. They use intimidation and whatever power drunkenness they have to try and get you to bribe them. That's absolutely a problem. There's a whole song, and I've highlighted this before on my channel, Nchi ya Kitu Kidogo. Go look it up by Eric Wainaina. I'm gonna pin it somewhere. Please go check it out. It is in Kiswahili. I don't know if there's some English translation, but essentially he's talking about how corrupt some Kenyan establishments are, and it's so ingrained in the system. I don't know if it's gonna go away anytime soon. So yes, that's what she means by that. Let's continue.
Number 3, I don't miss venye Kenya, like, everyone is in each other's business. Uku, like, people learn to mind their own business. Like, nimekuja hata nimerent nyumba, naeza live like a month or two, hata I don't know who my neighbor is. Like, people know how to mind their own business. Or even utaona people in public kissing, doing whatever, but everyone is minding their business. Like, people mind their business here, and I love it. Because Kenya, hey, the whole family, hata cha family, friends, kila mtu ako into each other business. Hey, ulienda wapi? Au mkipatana na mtu, hey, ulienda wapi? Unafanya gani? Like, no, I don't miss that. I love my own space. I don't love evil. Kila mtu ako kwa business ya mtu. So I love that uku kila mtu ana mind their own business.
I have kind of touched on this one. Okay, so where we come from, it depends on where you live, right? Where we used to live growing up, we had our own compound. It was a gated compound. In Kenya, you are allowed to put up a privacy fence. This whole scenario of I'm sitting in my yard and the next neighbor can see me sitting in my yard is a very weird foreign concept to me. I don't know how you guys, I know for you it's normal, for us it's not. I'm just like, I don't want to see my neighbor basking, and I don't want him to look at me basking. This is my space. Why can't I cover my space, We don't have HOAs and all those rules, but whatever the case, people do tend to be in each other's business because that's how the community is set up. And again, this can also be a negative thing, because in America, again, not just America, but with the Western world, technically Europe and wherever, people are so detached from one another. There's a lot of individualism, which is exactly the opposite of what we grew up with. No one knows where you are here. There are some old folks who pass away and no one knows they passed away because they don't talk to their neighbors. I have neighbors here. One of them, we kind of know each other. We see each other and we wave, but that's about as far as that goes. Business, I'm going to mind my business. But at the same time, there's some negative aspect to it, because then if I'm in trouble, can I count on you as my neighbor? Or are you gonna say, you deal with it? I will even know I'm in trouble. Those are the kinds of the things she's talking about. Now, on the upside, people are in your business a lot, and I've actually heard it happens also in Kenyan communities in the United States, where people tend to live in the same areas. I know Texas is one of them, Washington, even in San Diego, there's a Kenyan community, and they tend to be in each other's business because, again, they take the same mentality from back home here. So there's a sense of collectivism, if you will. Like I said, I appreciate my space as well. However, I do miss where I knew my neighbor was looking out for me. Hey, you need to go somewhere, you can drop your kid off here, just come fetch them later. No, they won't charge you money for babysitting because it's something it's expected. And you can return the favor if you want, but we don't hold it against you. I had neighbors in Kenya when I was living as a single woman. It was a very tiny studio apartment, and I had neighbors I actually did not like. We could not stand one another because they were so loud. It wasn't loudness like you think, it wasn't music loudness. They would just bring a live cockerel, and the thing would start freaking yapping at 5 in the morning. So, but we got along. So it was one of those weird dynamics where one day I came home really late from work. It had rained. For those who don't know, in Kenya, you wash your laundry by hand, unless, again, you live in the higher middle class or rich and you can have a washing machine. Most of us, this washing machine is our hands. I'd done my laundry. It was hanging in the lines. I came pretty late from work. It had already rained, so I knew my clothes were gonna be soaked, and I just made peace with that. But also, you're afraid of spending the night outside because they might get stolen. So you have to take them down while they're damp, hang them back up in the morning, and hope to God it doesn't rain. And I came back home. It was around, 7 p.m. I used to try to get home when it was still light outside. It gets dark by 6:30. I got home and my clothes are not on the line, so I had to panic. I was like, oh my God, someone stole my laundry. The neighbors I did not like had taken them down for me kindly and folded them. When I tell you guys, that day it humbled me. I was like, you guys are not so bad after all. They just came to me, they're like, oh, zilikuwa hapo nje, kuanza kunyesha tukazichukua. And I was like, oh, you didn't even have to. You guys know I don't like y'all, right? But that doesn't matter because community is what matters. So yes, I see what she's saying about people minding their own business, but at the same time, I do miss that sense of community, believe it or not, because it does have its benefits. You have a community around you. You're not alone in this country where everything is you, yourself, and your dog, maybe. Anyway, I hope you guys had fun with that one. I'm going to make more videos like those, just blind reacting to videos like those from Kenyans living abroad. And make sure you give me a like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that notification bell. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Kenyan Hippie out.